details are coming out. In fact, there's another details that we are sharing with our viewers right now, is that in the car in which he had committed the crime, in which he had strangulated Nikki Yadav, in that particular car itself, he had carried the dead body for nearly 40 kilometers. So this is another shocking details which is coming out, and probably this is, a rerun of the Shraddha murder case, which had shook the nation completely. The details, the gory details of that murder case had shook the nation, and clearly there are striking similarities between the two cases. The latest being the Nikki Yadav murder case, which has happened in the national capital. Back to you, Sneha.
Be with us, Amit. Just coming back to you. In fact, once again, we'll listen to what Nikki's father had to tell my colleague Arvind Hoja.
सर, ये आपको कब जानकारी मिली कि निक्की की हत्या कर दी गई है?
कल सुबह मिली जी।
किसने बताया था?
पुलिस वालों को फोन आया था, क्राइम ब्रांच।
अच्छा सर, पुलिस क्राइम ब्रांच का कहना है कि जो निक्की है, साहिल है, वो दोनों एक दूसरे को 2018 से जानते थे और दोनों ही के परिवार वालों को इसकी जानकारी थी, इस रिलेशनशिप की। तो आप लोगों को
कोई जानकारी नहीं दी, हमें कोई जानकारी नहीं दी।
अच्छा, दूसरा ये भी कि जो निक्की है वो गोवा जाने वाली थी 10 फरवरी को, उसने फ्लाइट का टिकट भी बुक करा लिया था।
हमें नहीं पता जी कुछ भी।
सर, अब ये जो घटना हो गई है तो आपकी क्या मांग है, क्या चाहते हैं सर?
हमारी तो मांग ये है जी, हमारी बेटी का कत्ल कर दिया गया तो उसको सजाए मौत होनी चाहिए।
क्राइम ब्रांच ने आपको कल जब फोन किया था तो क्या आपको जानकारी दी थी?
हमारे को यही बोला कि भाई यहाँ बिंदापुर थाने में आ जाओ, मेरे को फोन करके बोला।
अच्छा, फिर
मैं वहाँ गया, आके मेरे को इधर ले आए अपना मित्राऊ में, जहाँ पे उसकी हत्या करी गई है लड़की की।
अच्छा,
वहाँ लाके मेरे को बोला क्या नाम है, एक बार हॉस्पिटल चलना पड़ेगा, एक डेड बॉडी मिली हमें, आप एक बार उसको पहचान लोगे, वो आपकी बेटी तो नहीं है
जी।
फिर मेरे को यहाँ रावतुल्ला राम अस्पताल में लाया गया, यहाँ पे मुजफ्फरपुर में
जी।
आज मैंने देखा तो मेरी बेटी की डेड बॉडी थी।
Amit also continues to be with us. Amit, given that he dumped the body in a dhaba, give us a sense of the involvement of others also in this crime. What is the police indicating up until now?
Well, Sneha, right now the entire investigation is being carried out by Delhi police. So, as we know that since last evening, many of the details have come out in this particular story, including the aspect as to which car was used, how the dead body was located. All these details have already come out. Now, there's a question whether other people were also involved in this horrific crime or not. Whether Sahil Gehlot took help of others in hiding the dead body. How did he land up in the dhaba? The idea of using the refrigerator. Whether someone was also assisting Sahil in covering up the entire crime which had happened on the intervening night of 9th and 10th of February. All these details are awaited. The police is obviously carrying out a detailed investigation into the matter. But so far, what has been tracked down in this particular case is that, after locating the cell phone locations, the police was able to track down the dead body. The car in which this particular crime was committed, that has been now recovered by Delhi police. It's a white Varna car, which we are also showing to our viewers on India Today. The white Varna car with a Goa number is the one in which Nikki Yadav was strangulated, killed and carried for nearly 40 kilometers in search for a safe location as per Sahil Gehlot to dump the body. What we are also given to understand, Sneha, is that in the initial round of investigation, Sahil was not cooperating with the police, and in fact he had tried to mislead the investigators in this particular case, but eventually the investigators were able to crack down in this particular case and were able to get the very important details as to what was the weapon of while committing the crime, the car which was used in this particular case, where the body was dumped, how the body was dumped. All these details were given out by Sahil Gehlot to the police eventually during the interrogation. But as of now, Sneha, The car has been recovered. It's a Goa number Varna car, white Varna car in which the crime was committed, and now the police will carry out further detailed investigations as to how he convinced Nikki Yadav to come to meet him on 9th and 10th of night. What was the exact triggering point for the fight between the two, from where it got escalated so much so that Sahil decided to murder Nikki Yadav, and whether there were other individuals helping Sahil Gehlot in this particular case in order to hide the dead body, in order to cover up the entire crime. Back to you, Sneha.
All right, in fact, be with us, Amit. I'm just going to come back to you once again. We'll put out this report that was sent by my colleague Himanshu earlier.
क्राइम ब्रांच ने जब इसकी जांच शुरू की, निकी के फोन की लोकेशन निकाली, डिटेल निकाली, तो सबसे ज्यादा कॉल डिटेल उनकी जब गहलोत के बारे में मिली तो फौरन पुलिस ने गहलोत के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन निकाली और उसके बाद ये पता लगा कि गहलोत की तो 10 फरवरी को शादी थी और 9 और 10 फरवरी की रात से ही मिसिंग है लड़की। उसके बाद दिल्ली पुलिस ने जब सारी लोकेशंस निकाली तो कश्मीरी गेट के आसपास से निकी का फोन स्विच ऑफ था, जहां पर शक है, अंदेशा है कि वहीं पर जो मोबाइल का जो चार्जर होता है उस चार्जर से गला दबाकर उसने हत्या की। फिर उसके बाद ये ढाबा जो देख रही हैं आप, ये मित्रांग विलेज है, बाहरी दिल्ली का ये इलाका है, नजफगढ़ के आगे ये ढाबा है, ये बंद सा इलाका है, ये ऐसा नहीं कि ये ढाबा वर्किंग है। यहां पर एक फ्रिज में ला करके उसने निकी की लाश को रख दी थी क्योंकि उसकी शादी थी। अब पुलिस ये पता लगाने की कोशिश कर रही है कि किस तरीके से उसकी आगे प्लानिंग क्या थी, वो बॉडी को कैसे ठिकाने लगाने वाला था, वो किसी की मदद लेने वाला था या फिर खुद ही वो कोई तरीका अपनाता, लाश के टुकड़े करता, उसकी क्या योजना थी, इसके बारे में फिलहाल साहिल से पुलिस पूछताछ कर रही है।
Amit continues to be with us. Amit, in fact, the police has to investigate and put this together as to who really helped him, how was this all of it, really planned, and whether this was at all a pre-planned murder or whether this happened in a fit of rage.
True, Sneha, that is an angle which needs to be established in this particular case, whether the crime has been committed in a fit of rage or was it a pre-planned conspiracy under which he eliminated Nikki Yadav, so that he can go ahead and carry on with his happy married life, which is, apparent in this case, because the day when he commits the crime, within 24 hours, Sahil Gehlot goes on to participate in several ceremonies of the marriage and eventually get married to somebody else later on 10th of February in the evening. So these are the details that needs to be investigated by Delhi police, which is being investigated as of now. The crime branch is working on the case as well. The car that we were referring about, the white Varna car, was actually recovered by the Delhi police's crime branch. So here you have the cases unfolding. Several horrific details of the case are coming out right now. You have the deceased father saying that he had no clue about the relationship. He had no idea as to whether she was supposed to meet Sahil the day when she was murdered. So all these details are still being investigated by Delhi police, whether there was a conspiracy. Also, there's another angle that, he traveled for 40 kilometers on the streets of Delhi, eventually went ahead and went to Mitraun village. In Mitraun dhaba, he had dumped the body in the refrigerator. So what was Sahil's plan of action as to whether, he was going to, how he was planning to get rid of the body, because the dead body was kept in the refrigerator in a dhaba which was not operational. So whether he had further plans of getting rid of the body, those details are still to come out. Probably it will, the details of these will be out soon when the Delhi police goes ahead with the investigation and shares those details with the media as well. But clearly it's a rerun of the horrific incident which had happened in the national capital. Shraddha Walker murder case is one case which is being reminded to us every time we talk about the Nikki Yadav's case, because you have striking similarities in this particular case as well. But the bigger challenge right now for Delhi police would be also to ascertain as to how
Yes,
was
Amit.
this, why was
Undoubtedly
this
a challenge for the Delhi police to piece together all the evidence to build a watertight case against this man, Sahil. I'm going to thank you, Amit, for the moment, for getting us up to speed. With that, we'll continue to get all the details and angles. We're getting you some information this morning. We're getting you all the details of the Nikki murder case. In this car, Sahil Gehlot strangulated Nikki with a cable. The car crime branch has recovered it last night. This is the car on your screens right now. According to the police, the accused Sahil Gehlot, after killing Nikki in the car, kept the body on the front seat of the car, had power with the driver's seat and kept driving on the roads of Delhi for 40 kilometers. After keeping the body in the deep freezer at a dhaba in Mitraon village, he took his car and went home. The police recovered the car used in the murder from Sahil's house on Tuesday. After the murder, Sahil got involved in the marriage function.
हमारी बेटी के साथ पूरा अन्याय हुआ है। उसको मैं चाहता हूँ कि उसको सरकार सजाए मौत दे। हमारी बेटी के साथ पूरा अन्याय हुआ है। उसको मैं चाहता हूँ कि उसको सरकार सजाए मौत दे। हमारी बेटी के साथ पूरा अन्याय हुआ है। उसको मैं चाहता हूँ कि उसको सरकार सजाए मौत दे।
Bhardwaj is getting us more details on that big story we are tracking very closely. Amit, this has got an eerie resemblance to the previous case of Shraddha Walkar that we had reported on. You know, in this case, the man has gone to the extent of actually getting married the same day. This is horrific. What more can you tell us about what really happened and what pushed him to do something as gruesome as this?
True, Sneha, this is horrific, this is bizarre. The details that are coming out in this particular case is actually shocking. You know, on the intervening night of 9th and 10th February, you have the accused Sahil Gehlot meeting the deceased Nikki Yadav, and apparently Sahil had called Nikki so that they can go out on a detour of sorts, you know, and in fact in that particular conversation Nikki Yadav got to know about the every details of Sahil's marriage, which triggered the fight between the erstwhile couple, if we can call them one. And after that, what we are learning from our sources is that Sahil used a data cable to strangulate Nikki Yadav in that particular car. The picture that we were showing to our viewers on our on India Today right now, the white Varna car, this is the particular car in which Nikki Yadav was killed. And there are more shocking details which are coming out, Sneha. You know, this particular accused Sahil Gehlot was actually driving with the dead body of Nikki Yadav for nearly 40 kilometers on the streets, on the roads of Delhi, probably searching for a safer location where he can get rid of the body, where he can dump the body so that the legal action cannot be taken against him. And eventually he came down to his own village, Mitraon, a dhaba, where he had put that particular body in the deep freezer to avoid, you know, that anybody ends up finding the dead body of Nikki Yadav. Now there are more bizarre details and probably inhuman action. The day when he killed Nikki, you know, that particular day, later in the night, he goes on to participate in his own marriage ceremony and ends up marrying another girl in this particular case. So clearly,
Amit, I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now for more details on that story. Meanwhile, my colleague Arvind Hoja has spoken to the father of the victim in this case. Let's take a listen.
सर, ये आपको कब जानकारी मिली कि निक्की की हत्या कर दी गई है?
कल सुबह मिली जी।
किसने बताया था?
पुलिस वालों को फोन आया था, क्राइम ब्रांच।
अच्छा सर, पुलिस क्राइम ब्रांच का कहना है कि जो निक्की है, साहिल है, वो दोनों एक दूसरे को 2018 से जानते थे और दोनों ही के परिवार वालों को इसकी जानकारी थी, इस रिलेशनशिप की। तो आप लोगों को
कोई जानकारी नहीं थी, हमें कोई जानकारी नहीं थी।
अच्छा, दूसरा ये भी कि जो निक्की है वो गोवा जाने वाली थी 10 फरवरी को, उसने फ्लाइट का टिकट भी बुक करा लिया था।
हमें नहीं पता जी कुछ भी।
सर, अब ये जो घटना हो गई है तो आपकी क्या मांग है, क्या चाहते हैं सर?
हमारी तो मांग ये है जी, हमारी बेटी का कत्ल कर दिया गया तो उसको सजाए मौत होनी चाहिए।
क्राइम ब्रांच ने आपको कल जब फोन किया था तो क्या आपको जानकारी दी थी?
हमारे को यही बोला कि भाई यहाँ जिंदापुर थाने में आ जाओ, मेरे को फोन करके बोला।
अच्छा,
हम्म।
फिर
मैं वहां गया। वहां से मेरे को इधर ले आए अपना मित्राऊ में, जहाँ पे उसकी हत्या करी गई है लड़की की।
अच्छा,
वहां लाके मेरे को बोला क्या नाम है, एक बार हॉस्पिटल चलना पड़ेगा, एक डेड बॉडी मिली हमें, आप एक बार उसको पहचान लोगे, वो आपकी बेटी तो नहीं है
जी।
फिर मेरे को यहाँ राव तुलाराम अस्पताल में लाया गया, यहाँ पे मुजफ्फरपुर में
जी।
आज मैंने देखा तो मेरी बेटी की डेड बॉडी थी।
My colleague Himanshu sent us this report earlier. Let's take a look.
क्राइम ब्रांच ने जब इसकी जांच शुरू की, निकी के फोन की लोकेशन निकाली, डिटेल निकाली, तो सबसे ज्यादा कॉल डिटेल उनकी जब गहलोत के बारे में मिली तो फौरन पुलिस ने गहलोत के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन निकाली और उसके बाद ये पता लगा कि गहलोत की तो 10 फरवरी को शादी थी और 9 और 10 फरवरी की रात से ही मिसिंग है लड़की। उसके बाद दिल्ली पुलिस ने जब सारी लोकेशंस निकाली तो कश्मीरी गेट के आसपास से निकी का फोन स्विच ऑफ था, जहां पर शक है, अंदेशा है कि वहीं पर जो मोबाइल का जो चार्जर होता है उस चार्जर से गला दबाकर उसने हत्या की। फिर उसके बाद ये ढाबा जो देख रही हैं आप, ये मित्राऊ विलेज है, बाहरी दिल्ली का ये इलाका है, नजफगढ़ के आगे ये ढाबा है, ये बंद सा इलाका है, ये ऐसा नहीं कि ये ढाबा वर्किंग है। यहां पर एक फ्रिज में ला करके उसने निकी की लाश को रख दी थी क्योंकि उसकी शादी थी। अब पुलिस ये पता लगाने की कोशिश कर रही है कि किस तरीके से उसकी आगे प्लानिंग क्या थी, वो बॉडी को कैसे ठिकाने लगाने वाला था, वो किसी की मदद लेने वाला था या फिर खुद ही वो कोई तरीका अपनाता, लाश के टुकड़े करता है, उसकी क्या योजना थी, इसके बारे में फिलहाल साहिल से पुलिस पूछताछ कर रही है।
Once again, we'll put out that information, that report that Arvind sent us. This is a conversation that he essentially had with the victim's father, Sunil Yadav. Listen in.
सर, ये आपको कब जानकारी मिली कि निक्की की हत्या कर दी गई है?
कल सुबह मिली जी।
किसने बताया था?
पुलिस वालों को फोन आया था, क्राइम ब्रांच।
अच्छा सर, पुलिस क्राइम ब्रांच का कहना है कि जो निक्की है, साहिल है, वो दोनों एक दूसरे को 2018 से जानते थे और दोनों ही के परिवार वालों को इसकी जानकारी थी, इस रिलेशनशिप की। तो आप लोगों को
कोई जानकारी नहीं दी, हमें कोई जानकारी नहीं थी।
अच्छा, दूसरा ये भी कि जो निक्की है वो गोवा जाने वाली थी 10 फरवरी को, उसने फ्लाइट का टिकट भी बुक करा लिया था।
हमें नहीं पता जी कुछ भी।
सर, अब ये जो घटना हो गई है तो आपकी क्या मांग है, क्या चाहते हैं सर?
हमारी तो मांग ये है जी, हमारी बेटी का कत्ल कर दिया गया तो उसको सजाए मौत होनी चाहिए।
क्राइम ब्रांच ने आपको कल जब फोन किया था तो क्या आपको जानकारी दी थी?
हमारे को यही बोला कि भाई यहाँ जिंदापुर थाने में आ जाओ, मेरे को फोन करके बोला।
अच्छा, फिर
मैं वहां गया। वहां से मेरे को इधर ले आए अपना मित्राऊ में, जहाँ पे उसकी हत्या करी गई है लड़की की।
अच्छा,
वहां लाके मेरे को बोला क्या नाम है, एक बार हॉस्पिटल चलना पड़ेगा, एक डेड बॉडी मिली हमें, आप एक बार उसको पहचान लोगे, वो आपकी बेटी तो नहीं है
जी।
फिर मेरे को यहाँ राव तुलाराम अस्पताल में लाया गया, यहाँ पे मुजफ्फरपुर में
जी।
आज मैंने देखा तो मेरी बेटी की डेड बॉडी थी।
Well, this is a typical Shraddha Walker type of incident. Delhi police has arrested this man for allegedly killing his 22-year-old live-in partner and storing her body in a fridge in a dhaba in Najafgarh area of New Delhi. Here's what happened.
A murder that shook the nation. A 27-year-old woman allegedly killed by her live-in partner. Her body chopped up, pieces stored in a fridge for months. A Shraddha Walker type murder is sending chills down the spine again. Police have arrested a 26-year-old man for allegedly killing his girlfriend. According to police, the accused, Sahil Gehlot, strangled Nikki Yadav with a data cable in his car on the intervening night of February 9, 10 at Delhi's ISBT. Drove the body to the Najafgarh area and stuffed it into a refrigerator at a dhaba owned by a person he knew.
निक्की यादव की और साहिल की बहस हुई। निक्की यादव चाहती थी कि उनके साथ शादी करे। वो कर नहीं सकता था शादी, क्योंकि उसने तो मंगनी कहीं और कर ली थी एक दिन पहले। अगले दिन उनकी शादी 10 तारीख को शाम को कहीं और तय थी, तो वो उस बात को अग्री नहीं कर रहा था और वो नाराज थी, तो उसने उसको अपने रास्ते से हटाने के लिए इस वारदात को अंजाम दिया।
The motive behind this murder: the woman's insistence that Sahil Gehlot marry her. He did not. Instead, the man married another woman hours after killing his girlfriend. A tip led the police to the dhaba. Investigators recovered the body from the refrigerator inside.
9 और 10 की रात को ही अंजाम दिया गया है, गाड़ी में ही अंजाम दिया गया है। एग्जैक्टली कौन सी जगह थी, कौन सी स्पॉट थी, वो अभी हम सीसीटीवी वगैरह एनालाइज करेंगे, देखेंगे, चेक करेंगे, तब पता चलेगा।
A grim reminder of vulnerability to ruthless crimes, even in the most unlikely of places like a busy interstate bus terminal in the national capital. With Arvind Oja in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Right, let's just give you a sense of what really happened. They were moving in a car, both of them, the victim in this case, Nikki, and the accused in this particular car. And then there was an argument that was actually ongoing between both of them. This was regarding marriage and other issues that Nikki had been raising. He then used a mobile phone charger, the wire essentially, the wire cable, to strangulate her. That's what he did. And then he kept the body in the front car of the seat where she had been sitting. As you can see in this particular illustration, and he didn't really move the body. Then he actually drove for 40 kilometers, moved to a dhaba where he dumped her body. This illustration gives a sense of what really happened, and with the ease with which he carried out the crime. Amit continues to be with us. Amit, after all of this played out, that particular day, he then went on to get married the same day. You know, this is what is most shocking in all of this, that the confidence with which he carried out this crime, and he was completely repentless. He actually went on to get married the same day, Amit.
True, Sneha, you know, and that is more shocking. The details that we are getting, which is, this is a developing story in the sense that investigations are being carried on by the Delhi police right now. And more shocking details are coming out since last evening. Now, we know for a matter of fact that after strangulating Nikki Yadav, this particular individual, Gehlot went on to participate in the marriage ceremonies throughout the day and eventually got married in that evening on 10th of February. In fact, the fight between Nikki Yadav and Gehlot had happened over the fact that he is getting married. Remember, as per sources, Delhi police sources, we know for a matter of fact that these two were in a relationship, were also in a live-in relationship in a bit when they were studying in Greater Noida. And after that, what we are learning now is that Nikki Yadav was not aware of the fact that Gehlot was getting married. In fact, on 10th of February, Nikki had plans of traveling to Goa. Had she gone to Goa, probably she might have escaped this unfortunate destiny that happened on the intervening night of 9th and 10th of February. But very shocking, as you are pointing out, Sneha, that not only he committed the murder, he put Nikki's body in a refrigerator in Mitro village, but also went on to participate in the marriage ceremonies, several rituals of the marriage, and got married to another woman on the night of February 10th. So clearly more shocking details are coming out. In fact, there's another details that we are sharing with our viewers right now, is that in the car in which he had committed the crime, in which he had strangulated Nikki Yadav, in that particular car itself, he had carried the dead body for nearly 40 kilometers. So this is another shocking details which is coming out, and probably this is, a rerun of the Shraddha murder case which had shook the nation completely. The details, the gory details of that murder case had shook the nation, and clearly there are striking similarities between the two cases. The latest being the Nikki Yadav murder case, which has happened in the national capital. Back to you, Sneha.
Be with us, Amit. Just coming back to you. In fact, once again, we're listening to what Nikki's father had to tell my colleague Arvind Hoja.
सर, ये आपको कब जानकारी मिली कि निक्की की हत्या कर दी गई है?
कल सुबह मिली जी।
किसने बताया था?
वो पुलिस वालों को फोन आया था, क्राइम ब्रांच।
अच्छा सर, पुलिस क्राइम ब्रांच का कहना है कि जो निक्की है, साहिल है, वो दोनों एक दूसरे को 2018 से जानते थे और दोनों ही के परिवार वालों को इसकी जानकारी थी, इस रिलेशनशिप की। तो आप लोगों को
कोई जानकारी नहीं दी, हमें कोई जानकारी नहीं थी।
अच्छा, दूसरा ये भी कि जो निक्की है वो गोवा जाने वाली थी 10 फरवरी को, उसने फ्लाइट का टिकट भी बुक करा लिया था।
हमें नहीं पता जी कुछ भी।
सर, अब ये जो घटना हो गई है तो आपकी क्या मांग है, क्या चाहते हैं सर?
हमारी तो मांग ये है जी, हमारी बेटी का कत्ल कर दिया गया तो उसको सजाए मौत होनी चाहिए।
क्राइम ब्रांच ने आपको कल जब फोन किया था तो क्या आपको जानकारी दी थी?
हमारे को यही बोला कि भाई यहाँ बिंदापुर थाने में आ जाओ, मेरे को फोन करके बोला।
अच्छा, फिर
मैं वहाँ गया, आके मेरे को इधर ले आए अपना मित्राऊ में, जहाँ पे उसकी हत्या करी गई है लड़की की।
अच्छा,
वहाँ लाके मेरे को बोला क्या नाम है, एक बार हॉस्पिटल चलना पड़ेगा, एक डेड बॉडी मिली हमें, आप एक बार उसको पहचान लोगे, वो आपकी बेटी तो नहीं है
जी।
फिर मेरे को यहाँ रावतुल्ला राम अस्पताल में लाया गया, यहाँ पे मुजफ्फरपुर में
जी।
आज मैंने देखा तो मेरी बेटी की डेड बॉडी थी।